What's up guys, it's ENDYMION, a little news update video for you all, and yes, it's about the next Mass Effect game. This news has to do with how Mass Effect's next game will be made and why this is important and super interesting and why you guys need to know. So let's begin. So on September 1st, 2021, BioWare posted a listing for a new job within the company for a technical director for a franchise, in this case, Mass Effect. The job listing goes on to explain what's required for this hire, from how many years of experience to blah blah blah. Anyways, what's interesting and important here is that BioWare is specifically looking for someone who has experience with using the game engine Unreal Engine 4. This is mega important, and I'll explain why. See, the original Mass Effect trilogy was made on the Unreal Engine. The Unreal Engine and all its wonder is created by the folks over at Epic Games. You know, the people who make the game where Ariana Grande can shoot Master Chief with an AK-47 while flossing over the corpse of Chun-Li in The Predator. Fortnite is weird, I don't get it. Anyways, why this is important is that after the trilogy came and went, BioWare was forced by Electronic Arts, the owner of BioWare, to use Frostbite Engine instead of Unreal Engine for BioWare's future games. This led to some brutal crunch and borderline soul-crushing development, with the first game BioWare was tasked with making using Frostbite. That game was Dragon Age Inquisition, which yes, turned out great, amazing even, but the road and tasks it took BioWare to reach their goal was submerged with hellscapes of technical errors and having to learn how to use a game engine that wasn't designed for third-person action role-playing games. Frostbite was created and developed by DICE, the fine folks who are also owned by EA and are responsible for the Battlefield games. And Mirror's Edge wouldn't mind a good sequel to that game one day. Anyways, and Frostbite was created to specifically be able to harness the destructive capabilities within games, allowing for DICE to create games tailored designed to their Battlefield series. As in big explosions, first-person shooting, and sniping 10-year-olds in the head as they scream into their microphones. Online games are wild, but there's also something suspicious about Frostbite when you look at the games that have been forced to use the engine. So let's take a look at those, shall we? As you can see as I'm scrolling, you can see a metric F-ton of EA's games are made in Frostbite, except for one release that was wildly successful and used Unreal Engine instead. That game was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is also, surprise surprise, a third-person action game with light RPG elements. Fallen Order was deemed by EA during its development to be a game they didn't really want to have made, since it had no multiplayer, no microtransactions. Basically, Fallen Order was being made to not be a cash grab, and Respawn, the fellas who made Apex Legends and Titanfall, were spearheading that project. Fallen Order went on to become one of the best action games of 2019, a Game of the Year contender, and sold more than 10 million units. After this success, EA realized, surprise surprise, that they were wrong about single-player only games. This might explain why games like the Dead Space remake are being made as well, also from EA, as the recent successes of the Resident Evil remakes made boatloads of money, and seeing the success of Fallen Order definitely pushed EA to let that happen. So with Mass Effect's future being possibly, of course, within the engine of Unreal, this can only be good things. Paul Tassi, a writer for Forbes, whom you should read, he has good articles, had an article on this Mass Effect news, and in his article, he has a quote from a Mass Effect Andromeda developer, which was also on Frostbite, mind you, who explained what Frostbite was like when comparing it to Unreal. This developer said basically that Unreal, in terms of using cars as an analogy, that Unreal was an SUV. It's big, it's stable, it can do a lot of things at once, but it can't necessarily go at super high speeds. So basically they're saying Unreal Engine is the all-rounder game engine. It can do pretty much everything very well, but of course it has drawbacks. But when explaining Frostbite, that same developer compared Frostbite to a sports car, more so a Formula 1 race car, by saying that when Frostbite does something well, like destruction mechanics, it does it extremely well. But when it does something poorly, it does it really poorly, which makes sense when looking at Andromeda. The best part of that game was easily its combat, likely powered and uplifted by the efforts of Frostbite. But when it came to its characters, environments, and general RPG stuff, it kinda suffered, and it shows. I mean, even comparing Andromeda to the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is insane. The original trilogy looks better than Andromeda, even though it was made years later on more powerful hardware. It's kind of wild how well Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 aged. So where does this leave us? Well, if this job listing ends up semi-confirming sort of that BioWare is indeed using the Unreal Engine instead of Frostbite for Mass Effect's future, then that's very very good news for us. Because even though Frostbite might work well for games like Battlefield, Mass Effect and Dragon Age are different beasts. I mean, you guys probably played Legendary Edition, right? That re-release runs on Unreal Engine 3, so you know how smooth it operates and plays. That's all you really need to know. Like, if you go back and play Andromeda now and compare it to Legendary Edition, they play like night and day. I'm not saying Andromeda plays badly, but it does not play as well as the Legendary Edition, like, let's be real. So if Mass Effect sequel is made on the more suited up version of Unreal, and we get the sequel with the bells and whistles that the original trilogy were based on, I mean, I can speak for most of us when I say, yeah, yes, please, thank you. But let me know what you guys think of this news. It was going to be a short news video, but then of course, being me, I had to go in depth and explain it in whatever. I know, that's just how I am. Let me know if you want to see more stuff like this. If you like what you've seen and you want to see more, I got plenty of content on the channel, and please like and subscribe to help a new YouTuber out. I'm ENDYMION. Let me know what I'm doing right on or wrong here so I can improve the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.